Hello and welcome to the Clock and Talk, an Arsenal podcast, and we're covering, for fuck's sake.
Good job me and Schwinn are a lot more prepared than you, because if we came on and went, oh yeah, we didn't watch the game either, we was on the piss, it'd be a pretty shit podcast.
Well, Mesut Ozil is the best number 10 in the Premier League.
Yeah, that all looks good on paper, but there's never been a football match played on paper, so it's not really worth much.
I'm going to make a bold prediction that Jack Wilshere will sign for West Ham United.
It's time to start watching football with your eyes. I think people listen to what the commentator's saying and have that as their own opinion, but if you watch what's going on, you'll see things a lot clearer.
Schwinn, who do you think is going to win the Golden Boot?
I think Alexis Sanchez might do a number on that this year.
Okay. Tony talks about a clock being right twice a day. Tez is right every day. Try it from 5, lads. Fucking beauty. Hello and welcome to the Clock and Talk. I'm your host Tez. Thank you for listening. Thank you for downloading. You can follow us on Twitter at @clockand_talk. We're also on Facebook, YouTube, and that's about it. Each and every week I usually have Tony and Schwinn join me, but Schwinn has decided to do the Harry Holt and fucking leave me and Tony with it this week. So how are we, Tony?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks. I always knew there was a reason I was introduced first, and it's because I'm reliable. You don't turn up, you can't be shouted out first.
That's right. So. Straight down the pecking order, that Schwinn. Look, we're doing it's very short turnaround. We had, Spurs, then we've come back, Manchester United, and then we're going to be coming back on Sunday after the Huddersfield game. So we'll see how we go, Tony, on the length for this, but we've got heaps of questions as usual from our loyal listeners on Twitter, which is excellent. But we'll get into this Manchester United game. Look, we'll start with the lineup, pretty much as you expected, mate.
Yeah, I mean, obviously there was doubts around injury concerns with Ozil and Mustafi. I think Ramsey kind of played himself into that starting position, and Mkhitaryan maybe played himself out of it. So I think that was the only real surprise. A lot of people thought we might go 2 up top. I didn't think there was any chance that was ever going to happen. So yeah, I don't think many people would have been far wrong with the team they predicted.
Mm-hmm. Going through the game, and we always touch on that first 10, 20 minutes is the bit where we seem to fall asleep a bit, and we much did the same again. Yeah,
it was strange. Well, not strange. To be fair, you have to give United credit. I know people are saying they're not very good and whatnot, and the league position shows they're not as good as we expect the Man United team to be. But they started very quickly and very well. They were on the front foot. They hassled us for everything. They left their mark. Some people may call it cheating. Some people may call it like being overly rough. But they done the old traditional let us know they was there after the ball was gone. They may have left a little leg in. It was a fast start, and maybe that rattled Arsenal a little bit. We have been starting quite slow all season, apart from the Tottenham game where we started very quickly. But I think United pretty much done to us what we done to Tottenham.
Yeah, it's exactly right. Like, it was a slow start, and it took a little bit to get into 20 minutes. And before we get into the game as much, I want to touch on Guendouzi and Torreira in the middle. I was trying to rack my brain. How many games have them two actually started together? Because Guendouzi did start a couple at the start, but I don't know if Torreira did.
No, that was with Granit. I think there may have been a Europa League game or something, but off the top of my head, that's the first game they started together.
Yeah, so look, and I was, maybe that 20-minute slow start was them getting used to each other, I suppose.
As I said, for me, I'm just going to give Man United credit for that, because they came out, even straight from centre, they were hassling and harrying. They chased every ball. They started Lingard, who's very active, Rashford, who's obviously quick, and Martial, who's very quick, and them three, their pure job was to just chase absolutely everything. I think probably Mourinho was hoping to run the legs out of us with 20 to go and then bring on Pogba and Lukaku and try and introduce a bit of equality against the tired side. If that was what he was doing, which is what it looked like to me, he wasn't far off getting it right.
Yeah, it was a real tactical Yeah, tactical genius, actually. Now you think of it, yeah.
What do you think? They played Saturday. We had a hard game on Sunday, so they had the extra day, and we had a much harder game as well. So I wouldn't be surprised if he's just said, "Look, you lot run your bollocks off for 70. If we're still in the game, even if we're level with 70 to go, we'll introduce a bit of quality against a tired defence and hopefully go and win it." I'd imagine that was what he tried to do.
Mustafi, 26th minute. He's got the goal to go. What 1 up?
Yeah, I mean, it's a great ball by Torreira. Mustafi done really well to lose his man. I can't remember who it was. And it's not the best header. From there, he should be scoring anyway. He's headed it down. He's headed it in the middle of the goal. And it's a huge mistake by De Gea. It's one of them that's a bit of a shame because, as I said, Mustafi should score anyway. And then you're just talking about, good set-piece move or whatever. Whereas because of the way it happens, it comes down to, we needed a United mistake to score. But, I mean, obviously they all count. But it's just, obviously Mourinho came out after the game and said they scored all 4 goals. Which, as I said, if Mustafi just heads that in like he probably should, it kind of gives a different little spin on the game.
Yeah, and didn't take long for Manchester United to strike back. Obviously, Martial, 30th minute. Yeah.
So the free kick for me was a free kick. Martial made the most out of it, but it was a foul. The offside, look, Herrera is offside, but with how close it is, if the linesman gives that, he's absolutely guessing. And when they are guessing, sometimes you get them in your favour, sometimes you don't. We had the one at Stoke last year where Lacazette was potentially offside by a toe, and we all moaned that the ref was guessing then, and he wasn't, and that's what happens when they guess. There's no way you can know that factually, like whether he was offside or not. And obviously, when VAR comes in next season, we will have a different angle on things like that. But it's one of them. It is offside, but I can't blame the linesman for it. And Arsenal have got to defend better as well, regardless of he's offside. That only means he gets the ball first. But not cutting out the cutback wasn't good enough. And then Martial was standing on his own, essentially in the 6-yard box. So yes, it's offside, but there's a lot of other things that need looking at, I think.
Yeah, I was just watching a replay on because it's been a couple of days since I watched this game, but that cutback from Herrera, I just felt there probably should have been our defence was a bit lacking there.
Yes, it's one of the things that went through players, and on another day it goes straight to your centre back and it goes out for a corner or you clear it. But it's not just like you're saying, like sometimes someone's offside and they score and there's no other fault to blame. If someone's clearly offside and they're played through, you've got no chance of catching them. There's nothing you can do. But I think with that, yes, he was offside, but we had a chance to rectify that situation and we didn't.
I was just looking at. So you're saying Herrera was offside?
Yeah, but as I said, it's one of them. He was offside, but I'd be more surprised if it was given than not.
Yeah. Okay. Yep. I'm with you there now. Yep. Now, where do we go here? I better touch on. Look, we'll talk about Rob Holding now. So it's come out that Rob Holding looks like he's done his ACL. Now, he got substituted in the 36th minute and Lichtsteiner came on. So ACL, he'd be looking at 12 months.
Yeah, they reckon 6 to 9. There's absolutely no chance of it being 6. I think they'll be looking at the start of next season, which is August, which is what that 8. Yeah, it gives him 9 months pretty much. Big blow for him because he's been playing really well recently. So he's fitted into the team. He's role in the team really well. I know they massively like him. They love him at the club. They think there's a huge future for him. They have huge hopes for him. Hopefully this isn't too much of a setback in terms of where he can potentially reach. That's all you can really say. To be honest, I think it's one of them unlucky ones that I've seen people blaming Rashford today. I don't think there's any. I don't really like Rashford, so I'm not defending him because he's English or before we get any of that. But I don't really think there's any blame on Rashford. Usually with things like the ACL, they tend to happen more in innocuous challenges rather than like 2-footers or anything like that. I think it's just one of them unlucky things that's happened, and you have to feel for Holding. hopefully he comes back bigger, better, and stronger.
A lot of, and I was talking to a couple of the boys from the blog. I was talking to yourself earlier. Now we're just talking about different scenarios, like, and obviously I mentioned to you as well as a couple of Craig and a few of the boys there. Chambers, we were thinking, maybe Chambers could come back from loan, but then it was by things that I've read, it's a possibility. It's not going to happen. It looks like he's at Fulham until the end of the season. You then mentioned, obviously, Monreal, Lichtsteiner, and you think we've got the depth there?
Look, it's not. I don't think Chambers has a callback clause, as far as I'm aware. I could be wrong, but I don't think he has one. In terms of the others, I think if we stay free at the back, which we don't know if we're going to do, but if we do, I think with Holding playing on the left especially, Monreal can come back in and play that position, which is where he was playing the year we actually played a back five anyway.
Yep.
And obviously he's more than comfortable coming out with the ball. So it's replaceable there. If Monreal's not back yet, Koscielny could, if he's back to a decent level in a couple of weeks, he could play on the left because he always played as the left of a two when he played at centre-back. Then, or you could potentially, even like, say for this week, if Monreal and Koscielny aren't fit and he wants to go back, so he wants to keep a five, he could move Socrates and Mustafi over one, and then he's got Lichtsteiner, which is obviously what he done during the game. And absolute worst case, Jenko could potentially play as the right of a three. I don't think it will happen, but
I forgot all about Jenko. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. Again, it's not ideal, but I don't think we may be short of quality. I don't think we're short of options. Saying that, I thought Lichtsteiner done quite well when he came on, and I was when he was getting ready to come. Like when you saw it was him that was coming on for Rob Holding, I was a bit nervous about it, but I thought he had a quite good game.
Yeah. What's your thoughts come January now? Do we look for another centre back, do you think, or?
I don't think he does.
Yeah.
Because again, obviously, I just didn't mention Mavropanos either. He's back in training this month apparently.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a difficult one because the number count is quite high, but the quality count isn't. I mean, the amount of quality isn't the best. So if he goes and signs someone else, they've got to be of better quality. But then you've got to get rid of at least one, because just the amount of players that we can have that play there that are never going to get a game otherwise. And it's all well and good people saying, oh, yeah, we should get rid of Jenkinson. Of course we should get rid of Jenkinson, but no one's going to pay his money, so he ain't going to go anywhere.
So you might as well use him.
Well, no, even if I don't expect us to use him, but when I say get rid of people, I know people are going to say, oh, well, yeah, that's easy, get rid of Jenkinson. But it's not that easy. If we could get rid of Jenkinson, he'd have been gone 2 years ago.
But he's on too big a wages. He's just going to sit there comfortable. So.
Yeah. No one else is going to pay that kind of money for him. And
what a mess. Yeah, when I say you might as well use him. Obviously, he'll be the bloke we use Europa League games.
Well, yeah, he'll play against Karabag at home was it next week?
AFL
and then,
Cup and things. Yeah.
I don't know. We've got Tottenham in that, so I don't know how strong that's going to be. A tactical battle that will, well, not a tactical, but both teams with the lineups in that game are going to be. Do they go strong? What do they do?
Yeah.
But obviously that's a week away, and we can speak about that after the Huddersfield game. But it is difficult with January in terms of buying a defender because, as I said, the number you're going to leave yourself with 7-8 players that can play there. And then you've got too many players.
Mm-hmm. Mavropanos, was he? Just refresh my memory. Was he his Sven signing or not?
I believe so. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, yeah. No, he was. Not. I believe so. Yeah, he was.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think he has the same agent as Socrates, and Sven brought Socrates to Dortmund, so he knew him well, and the agent recommended him, and it went from there.
Okay. Yep. Okay. So, okay, I'd imagine Schwinn, he's not here, but I think he wanted another centre-back, so I don't know what I feel about it.
As I said, it's difficult because we need better quality, but then we're going to have too many numbers. And then who do you sell? As I say, Koscielny's not sellable in January. Jenko isn't.
People will say Mustafi. I'd
You're
imagine.
not going to. Yeah, but then.
But at the moment, he's the best you got.
Well, exactly. You're not improving the quality if you're getting. I mean, if you want to play three at the back, you'd go Socrates, Mustafi, and one other. If you get that one other in, but then get rid of Mustafi, you're still kind of in the same place.
Mm-hmm. Well, actually, he's not the best. Socrates probably is, but he's up there, isn't he? Like, you know.
Well, he's in your top three.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, no, it's going to be interesting how it plays out. So getting back to this game, look, there was a. I'll talk about a few of these yellow cards. Manchester United, I thought they were fucking grubby bastards. Rojo, Lingard, Matic, 38, 40, 42nd minute. I probably reckon. I just can't remember which one it was. It should have been close to a red.
Well, just as soon as he booked Mustafi there was five bookings in 5 minutes, and Mustafi was the first.
Yep.
And to be honest, I've not seen replays of it because it wasn't on the highlights package I watched. But at the ground, it didn't even look like a foul. And as soon as he got booked for it, because they made a big reaction, I said to my mate, the ref made a problem for himself here because now he's going to have to book everyone. Because it was, even if it was a foul, and maybe I'm wrong, as I said, I've only seen it from my seat in the ground. It definitely didn't look like a yellow card. And as I said, but United were strong and complaining on everything. They even actually, I don't know if they've showed it on TV, but when the ref gave our goal via goal line technology, which obviously can't be argued, 8 United players were surrounding him arguing the decision. They just had that get around the ref.
Yeah, I did see that.
Yeah, so that's obviously got Mustafi booked, which caused a huge problem for him. The Rojo one, the ref was going to send him off. He bottled it massively. Again, I've not seen it back. It wasn't on my highlights package, so maybe it wasn't as bad a tackle as it looked in the ground. I didn't have the best view of it, if I'm honest. But the ref reached for his back pocket straight away, where they keep their red card. And again, he had loads of players surrounding him as well. If you're going to, because we had a bit of an advantage on, and if you're going to play an advantage, if you're only going to book someone, play the advantage and come back and book them. Whereas you very rarely see an advantage and they come back for a red card. So I'm convinced, and pretty much everyone in the away end was convinced that the ref was going to send him off and bottled it. I
thought he was going to go off for sure.
Yeah, as I said, I've still not seen it back, but I know by the ref's reaction he was going to send him off and bottled it. I've seen a lot of people on Twitter since saying Lingard should have been sent off, and I don't really know what they're talking about because I've not seen. I think his booking was definitely a booking, but it didn't look any more than that. I think it was Torreira just ran away from him and was breaking, and he just stuck a leg out and took him down. And, a professional foul. It's a yellow card every time. He's made no attempt to get the ball, but he's never really going to hurt anyone. And I can't think of anything else. But a lot of people have said it, so it's my memory just let me down, not other people being wrong.
And then there was Bellerin, he got one in the 41st minute, and then Matic in the 42nd minute. So there was a handful of them in bloody 5 minutes.
Yeah, as I said, the ref created the problem by booking Mustafi, and it was obvious at the time. As soon as he'd done it, you knew that the problem was there. Because in a game like that, when they're getting around you all the time, once you book one player, like if it's a definite yellow, then fair enough. But once you book someone for a tackle that maybe is, maybe isn't, you have to start booking. Basically, every tackle was going to be a booking in that period. We got one, I think it was Hector, which, again, it was down the other end of the pitch. But never in a million years was it a booking. And the ref walked him away and then came back and booked him, and it was again, it was just part of that period where he basically had to book every tackle, and half time came at the right time for the ref because there was no way that was ending. If that would have happened in the 60th minute, then there would have been at least 2 red cards if he would have carried on like that. The half time gave him a chance to take a break and kind of re-establish some form of order.
Yeah, and then obviously we come back from half time and Ramsey comes on for Mkhitaryan. You happy with that?
Well, Ramsey was always going to go off. I'm surprised we didn't make the sub before half time because there was no way he was going to recover. Mkhitaryan came out to warm up at half time in his kit, so we knew in the ground that he was coming on. I was a bit surprised he didn't do Lacazette then, bring Lacazette on then, the same way he did it against Tottenham, because then it left no surprises. Obviously, at that stage, it was 1-1. Mourinho's sitting there knowing that Lacazette's going to come on, so he knows exactly our game plan from that point. Whereas if you bring Lacazette on then, there's still other options. You could bring Mkhitaryan on, or if we're leading, you could bring someone more defensive on. Or if we needed to chase another goal, you could have brought someone like Eddie on, or Neni if you're trying to defend. So I was a bit surprised that he stayed with the same shape and brought Mickey on, because we knew that Lacazette's going to come on by the 65th minute anyway.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So it's nothing against Mickey. It's just, I was a bit surprised that was the decision that was made.
Yeah, and then obviously, Lacazette comes on, Iwobi goes off. Thoughts on Iwobi's game?
I don't think that position suits him as the 2 behind the 1. Because if he drifts in field, it gives you no real width. He's not got that killer pass in general. I know there's been times this season when he's played brilliant passes, but in general, he's not got that killer pass. When you're central, it's a lot harder to run at people. Just by nature. So I think he's had a lot of good games this season. I don't really think any of them have been when we've played a back 5.
I just realised, because when Lacazette comes on, I thought that next goal, I didn't realise it went down as an own goal.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah. You want to talk us through that?
I have absolutely no idea how they've given that as an own goal. Again, for me, Lacazette shouldn't leave any doubt, and he took too many touches, which allowed Rojo to get the tackle in. But then he tackled it onto Lacazette's shin, and it's rolled in. Look, Lacazette didn't mean it, because the ball's come off his left shin when he was drawing back to have a shot with his right foot. There's an argument to say it was a foul on him anyway, but the dubious goals panel, which usually take a couple of days, announced about 20 minutes after the final whistle that they'd given it as a Rojo own goal. And I don't know what footage they've seen, because it's clear that the last touch is off Lacazette.
Yeah, I didn't realise till right now when I'm reading through the thing. I thought, fucking own goal, what? I actually didn't realise the ball had gone in, because I was more looking at the tackle, and then obviously I realised the ball had gone in. I was calling for red card straight away, so and a penalty, but because that would have put him onto his second yellow, which for me I was thinking second yellow, red card, but I don't know. The referee didn't go that way.
Well, obviously it's gone in. That's the argument. If the ref did think it's a foul, would you prefer a second yellow and a penalty, or the goal? But maybe the ref didn't think it was a foul, so.
That's just what I thought straight up. I thought, there's a second yellow. Here comes a penalty, but then obviously the ball went in, and I went, But I was still surprised he got let off with a yellow. I don't know. Fucking near tackled him, didn't he? From memory. He bloody, I'm trying to think, he's come across and slid at him and tackled him, didn't he?
Yeah, well, he definitely did get a touch on the ball, and hence they've given it as an own goal. So, he definitely did get a touch on the ball. The argument's whether he came through Lacazette to get that touch.
Yeah. Then straight back, Manchester United hit back, and fucking what a mess.
It's just so amateur. You didn't even, everyone in the ground was thinking, just chill for 5 minutes, don't let them back in the game, try and kill the tempo. You didn't even have time to say that. If the time it took you to get that sentence out, it was 2-2.
I know. How the fuck did we fuck that up?
The fact is, it's a long ball to Lukaku, and we had 3 players around him. Okay, maybe accept he's going to win the first ball. Fair enough, there's always a chance that could happen. But the other 2 have got to clean up. I don't know why Kolasinac has tried to go back there. With a bouncing ball and you're only 8 yards away from the keeper, I don't think you should be trying to go back anyway. And then even after he's underhit it, he stops and then starts again. Whereas if he just goes fully, he gets there before Lingard anyway. I don't think Leno could have got there either way. It's just a shit show. For me, it's very poor from Said. I know people are hesitant to criticise him because he's been a lot better recently, but for me, it's out and out a mistake from Kolasinac.
Emery's face said it all. I don't know, you wouldn't have seen it, but
I've not seen it.
Fucking hell, mate. He's just looking at him and say, what the fuck was that?
Yeah, at the final whistle, the coach, Caicedo, the guy that always wears shorts, came running onto the pitch, and he went straight to Kolasinac and he was talking to him for about 30 seconds or a minute. It may have been saying, you know what, keep your head up. You've had a half decent game. Don't worry about the mistake. It also may have been calling him a useless cunt. Obviously, we don't know. But he went directly to Kolasinac, and like other players, he shook their hands and whatnot, or like gave him a high five. But Kolasinac, he was talking to him for a while.
Yeah. And then, as we were discussing earlier, you mentioned that Mourinho's tactics were go out hard, and then 72nd, 75th minute, bring on Fellaini and bloody Pogba, and that's what they did. We held them all right.
Yeah, look, I think we definitely had the better chances. Aubameyang should have scored. There's no. It's a good save, but you shouldn't be giving him a chance to make the save. And then De Gea makes another very good save from Aubameyang from outside the area. Mkhitaryan should score at the front post. I actually thought Mickey done really well when he came on, but he's got to score at the front post. He's done really well on the right and cut it back for Torreira, who I think probably has got to do better. Another good save from De Gea, but I think he should probably do better. And then Mkhitaryan with the most ridiculous finish from that shot, but he was offside. The finish is outrageous, but he was well offside. There's been a lot of debate about the Lacazette disallowed goal. For me, it should be disallowed. I don't even think there's a question. And I think if it happened to us, everyone would agree with me. But because it's an Arsenal player scoring it, they're trying to bend the rules to suit themselves.
Mm-hmm. Look, I'll go through a few players, and the big one that came out was, and I tweeted the same thing, is we really missed Granit in this game. I'm not taking anything away from Guendouzi, but you could really tell that we missed Granit, couldn't you?
Yeah, I think we did massively, especially, on a big pitch as well. You're more likely to. You could probably, at a game, say like Bournemouth, you'd probably notice him less if he's not there. But I think it was clear to everyone that we were missing. Well, I thought it was. I've seen people arguing about it on social media, but I thought it was pretty clear. And most people I spoke to thought it was pretty clear that we missed Granit. It's a strange one because I really do like Guendouzi and I really rate him. Yep. But I think in some games, what he does and what he's very good at maybe isn't needed. And I think that was one of them. I think he done absolutely nothing wrong. I remember saying this earlier in the season. There was a game, I can't remember who it was, and he done absolutely nothing wrong. Everything he done well. Yep. But was it needed what he done?
Mm-hmm. Oh, so look, someone said to me, did you see his pass, how many passes he made and da. And I was like, yeah, okay, great. But I'm not exactly sure what he did. Like, if I watch that game back again, I'm still not sure what he did. So that's, you could be making 50, 60 passes, but where, what did he actually do in terms of, did he create opportunities? Did he, was there through balls? Was there, there was no go for movement. So look, he played a good game, but you could really tell I could really tell Granit was missing. Also, I did notice when Lacazette came on and we moved Aubameyang, and there was a few different changes. Even when Mickey came on, I thought that was probably our best period. I thought we were better with them on.
Well, Kolasinac gave Dalot a nightmare all game. Dalot didn't know whether he was coming or going, and then when Aubameyang moved out there, Dalot didn't want to go and engage him because he was so worried about Kolasinac, which meant one of their centre-backs had to come out, and it kind of really messed up their performance. And this is what I mean about Iwobi playing in that position kind of behind the striker. That he didn't bring that fear. Straight away when Aubameyang went there, someone was worried about him. Where is he? What's he doing? Whereas Iwobi, it was all very nice. And again, I don't think he done anything wrong, but it was all very nice and in front of United and no real threat. So they could keep their shape, whereas I think Aubameyang immediately made them not change their shape, they didn't change their formation, but it gave them different things to worry about and dragged them and pushed them all over the place.
Mm-hmm. Look, I think, who done the ratings? Craig or Savvy? Savvy, I think, done the ratings. So you can find Savvy's ratings and the boys, do the ratings, previews and different articles, clockandtalk.blogspot.com. It's also on our profile on Twitter. Look, Savvy, I think, did them. I'm just trying to have a look. No, Jake did it, sorry. So Jake did it. So I'm just looking for who his man of the match was. Was Tuera. He gave his man of the match. Who was yours?
Look, the overall man of the match for me was Eric Bailly. No two ways about it. Our man of the match, I find it really difficult. I thought Torreira had one of these. I thought he was good, but I thought he had one of these not so good games in an Arsenal shirt. One of the wasn't in his top 5 performances in an Arsenal shirt for me. I don't know. It's one of them games. I don't think anyone was outstanding, and I don't think anyone was really poor either.
It's hard.
I've seen, as I said, I've seen people give Guendouzi man of the match, which for me wasn't. But again, I don't think he played anywhere near bad. I thought he played okay. I just didn't think he had an impact on the game.
For me, Mustafi scored the goal. If I had, like you say, if you had a gun to your head and you had to pick one, he did score the goal. But then he does them little Mustafi fucking moments too. So,
yeah, I mean, to be honest, had it not been for their second goal, I'd probably go Kolasinac. As much as he does my head in and he refuses to get back, Aubameyang was fucked in the second half because he was basically playing left wing back because say he gets forward and doesn't get back.
Yeah.
But he caused them nightmares going forward. They didn't know what to do with him. But he has made that mistake, so you've got to factor that in. I don't know. I think it's one of them you can't really argue with anyone.
Yeah.
And you can't really make a strong case for anyone either.
I just want to get your thoughts on Leno. Obviously, and I'm just going through, as you say, who scored. I've looked at FootMob because it's a different to what you are on. So Leno, they basically said that he was the poorest. I think it was obviously because of the 2 goals and the second goal. They probably did blame him a little bit. Well, probably both goals they did. Your thoughts on Leno on that guy?
Playing out from the back was very good. We always need that. The shot stopping, he only really had 2 shots against him, I think, and 2 proper shots. There's obviously been shots from far out. He only really had 2 shots against him, and unfortunately they're both gone in. Oh, he's had 3, obviously, the free kick as well. I don't think he could do anything about any of them. I think he's made from the free kick. I put no blame on him at all, to be honest.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry. And they give man of the match to Torreira, which was interesting.
Yeah, but again, looking on, I'm assuming you're on who scored. They've got De Gea as the worst on the pitch, and I know he's made a huge mistake for our goal, the first one.
Too, yeah.
But look at the saves he's made. Like, he's made 2, 3, maybe 4 top draw saves.
3 saves I got, and yeah, he did. I don't get it how they do them ratings at times. I really don't. Who do you say? Bailey.
Yeah, I thought Bailly was man of the match by a mile.
Yeah, they give him a 6.
And they've given it to Herrera.
Yeah. Okay, anything else you want to add there? Covered most of it.
Fellaini definitely should have been sent off, and I have no idea how the ref aren't taking action.
Which one was that?
Pulling Guendouzi's hair.
Oh, yeah. Did the ref see that, though?
Well, so the reason the FA aren't taking action is because they've said that the ref gave a free kick, which means he's seen it, and decided that a free kick was enough punishment, because the FA are only supposed to rule on stuff that the ref says he didn't see.
Yep.
In that case, the referee should be sacked, demoted. I mean, the ref was terrible all game anyway. He was an absolute joke. But if he's seen that and thinks that that's only a free kick, they need to send him away for 6 months to learn the rules, and he shouldn't be refereeing any games in them time.
Yeah.
And also to point out, this is the same ref that got Gibbs and Chamberlain confused a few years ago and sent off the wrong one.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Oh, fucking hell. I agree with that. Okay. Did man of the match. So I want to have a talk about, there was an article that, I seen it today, it came out today, Gunners News from The Sun, Arsenal News, I think you must tweet it, hippie crack scandal will make teams stronger, but not as bad as Booze Bender and holding out for the season. So that was their headline about some hippie crack from Arsenal fans. Arsenal team, thoughts on that?
I've seen no problems with it whatsoever. I mean, let's make that headline truthful. Arsenal players enjoy social life whilst breaking absolutely no laws.
I asked you what the fuck is hippie crack, and when you told me, I went, "Oh, really?"
Yeah, it's nothing. I mean, like,
I thought it's pot or something like that. Fucking having a chuff, a bit of fucking wacky tobacco or something.
No, nothing. Like, as I said, it's not illegal. There's not addictive. I think they're just making a headline out of nothing. I've not seen anyone that genuinely gives a fuck.
No.
And it was from, like, I think the 1st of August or something. So why that's coming up now, I have no idea.
Oh, probably the Sun just got an agenda against Arsenal again. It was 20 games. Let's make mention we've gone unbeaten, and let's throw the fucking cat amongst the pigeons, I suppose.
Yeah, it's just it's ridiculous, but
yeah, I know. Okay, we won't spend too much time on that, but we thought we'd just make a quick mention of it. So don't worry about it. Tell them we go fuck at the Sun. Fuck them. I know you want to do some questions.
Let's go.
So I wrote a recording. Let us know your questions and thoughts on the Man United match. So we'll go down. David, do you think what little real talent Fellaini has been cut off?
To be fair, I think we dealt with him quite well. He's always going to be a danger from long balls, and they didn't really cause any problems going to him. They caused problems going to Lukaku, which is probably more surprising. He's always going to be that type of player. He's going to kick, elbow, and foul people and win a lot in the air. That is what he is, and to be honest, at times it's very effective.
Mm-hmm. James says, would you take Eric Bailey at Arsenal after watching him on Wednesday?
I would have taken him before watching him on Wednesday. I'm astounded that he doesn't start for Man United every week. Like, I don't know what the issue is Mourinho has with him, but if he's available, I would. As much as I said earlier, I don't think we will go for a centre-back in January. If he's available, I would not hesitate if I was someone who had any form of power.
No, I agree. Brad says, do you guys find it weird that Arsenal not given Welbeck? Oh, yeah, I should have talked about this. But he's reminded me, thanks, Brad. Welbeck, a new deal. He's 28, can play across the front three. Is a good option on the bench and has started to score more with Emery coming in. Surely his experience and quality from the bench is needed. Also, I can't remember the last time Arsenal had back-to-back games against top teams and left with no defenders. This is clearly improvement from what we usually get. These players, credit to the manager. So Welbeck?
Yeah, I mean, I tweeted the Welbeck thing, saying that injury dependent is a big surprise, and that Arsenal aren't. Well, not a big surprise, but for me, it's a mistake. Look, we don't know about the injury. That's the first thing you've got to look at. If he's out for a year, then I think it's probably fully understandable that they're not giving him a contract. You don't want to pay someone for 6 months beyond while they're still injured, especially when they're only going to be a bit part player anyway, and you never know how they're going to come back, especially with a player like Danny who is so explosive. If it means he puts slightly less strength for his ankle, which means he's not as quick anymore, or he's not as good shoulder to shoulder because he's worried about putting the force through his ankle, then you can understand it. So look, without the injury, I don't know, but I am surprised. I think he brings you a lot. And Brads was arguing with a few people on the tweet I put out. The people saying, "Oh, you don't win leagues with people starting like Welbeck." But Brad said it at the time. If you're gonna look, who's gonna be as good as him as a third, fourth choice striker that can play on the left, on the right, or through the middle, and he's going to be happy to play that role and changes a game, gives you something so different. It's not like he's the same type of player as Lacazette or Aubameyang, so he's just their out-and-out replacement. He gives you something different. So there is times where you can bring him on to change a game, like against Liverpool at home. And what obviously you lose him for free, And how much is it going to cost you to get a player that is happy to do that and is effective at doing that? Some people are saying, but he's holding back Eddie being there. But look, Eddie at the moment isn't anywhere near as good as him. So he's not holding him back. What he is a better footballer than him. If in time Eddie gets better than him, then fair enough. But I can't see that happening anytime soon.
Yeah, I don't know what you do. So whether they promote Eddie or they go and look for another, third, fourth strike, and who's that person? It's fucking
yeah, exactly. And as well as I was saying with Danny, he gives you the option of playing left and right as well.
And people say, let's bring, wonder if Giroud had come back, but that ship's long gone.
Yeah, long gone, and you got to pay a fee for these people, and they're still going to want similar, if not higher, wages than Welbs wants.
Yeah. So I like Giroud because he did give us that option. He gave us something different. Welbeck as well gave us something different. At the moment, we've got, and don't get me wrong, I love Lacazette and Aubameyang, but I see where there's games where a Welbeck, come off the bench and change the game a bit.
Yeah, even against Wolves. We played Wolves 3 days after Danny got injured, and that game was crying out for Danny Welbeck, and obviously it's odds law that the time you need him is when he's just got injured. But you can't tell me, as good as Eddie could potentially be, Eddie ain't going to come on and do that job.
No.
Even if he was as good as Welbeck is now, which he isn't, he's not going to come on and do that job of running the defenders down, hassling out, strengthening them, out jumping them, giving you so many options. So I think you would have to bring someone in, and as you said, who is that man that's going to come in and not cost much because we've not got the biggest budget in the world, probably be able to play 3 positions, but is also different from what we've got in case we need to change a game, and is happy to sit on the bench. I think that's a fucking hell of a list of criteria to find someone.
Yeah, I agree. Actually, what's the name's leaving by? Muller. Yeah, wish.
He ain't going to sit on the bench, and he's going to want more money than Danny anyway.
Yeah, you will too. Vish said, "Who's a bigger cunt, Mourinho, Mariner? I felt Mariner allowed United to be far more physical than is legally allowed. How Rojo and Lingard were still on the pitch is beyond me, and let's not start on Fellaini. Mariner saw what he did, yet he turned a blind eye."
Well, yeah, this is what it comes down to. Mariner, as I've already covered him, that he should be demoted or sacked or something needs doing. I don't know what Lingard incident people are on about, so I can't really cover that. With Rojo, he bottled it, but I wouldn't say he allowed them to be overly physical because there was a lot of cards in the game. Barring the Fellaini one, I don't think there was a time, again, I don't know about the Lingard incident, but I don't think there was a time where everyone was like, that's a definite booking, and he let him get away with it. Or I don't think he allowed them to be overly rough. I think they probably were a bit rough, and they got booked for it. The only problem with it was that he got conned into that, making it every foul booking. So when we made a foul, it became a booking as well, whether it should have been or not. So I don't know. I don't think he's to blame for that aspect. I mean, look, we've seen games before, that the key one being at Old Trafford, the 50th game on the 49 unbeaten run, where Mike Riley just allowed United to do whatever they want and kick lumps out of us. I don't think this was that type of performance from Mariner. But again, he's just an inept ref. He's just not very good at his job, and that's what it's come down to. I don't think there's any bias. I don't think he decided to let them play rough. He's just a shit ref.
Mm-hmm. Clay says, Jesus, fuck defence. Sarvesh says, do you guys think with injuries and fatigue a result of Emery playing these players against even small teams in Europa League, or was it just toll of the North London derby?
Yeah, I think they were just tired from the North London derby. I don't think you can factor back to playing away at Lisbon, which was the last Europa League away game where the first team players travelled, which was, I think, October 24th maybe. So I don't think you can factor tiredness down to something that happened 6 weeks ago. For me, it's just that they all ran their socks off on Sunday, and a lot of them played 90 as well, and then they're back in on Wednesday in another hard, grueling game, and United made it that way. And I think if I'm going to give them some credit, I think they probably recognise that Arsenal would work very hard on Sunday. And as I said, I think their game plan was to probably make them work as hard as possible for 70 and then try and hit them while they're tired.
I just want to add to that, though, like, and you know, obviously we're on a 20 game. We haven't lost a game in 20 games or something. Now, 12 months ago, I know it's hard to relive and things, but I wouldn't have thought. I was pretty confident going into the game against Tottenham than what I would have been 12 months ago. I would have said 12 months ago, which I probably have on the podcast, I'd be happy to come away with a draw against Manchester United this week and come away with a 1 point. So in two games, we've come away with 4 points, which was 2 really, really tough games for this time of year. So let's just, there's a lot of people on social media going, well, we beat Tottenham 4-2 and you know, I said here on, you know, I was taking the piss 6-1 because I felt that we are a better team than Manchester United are at the moment. But we'd be all happy coming away with the draw out of Old Trafford, eh?
Yeah, look, it's one of them that when you look at the table and whatnot, and you look at how we played against Tottenham, and you probably expect to beat United, but if you group in games in threes, which a lot of teams do and a lot of fans do, if you'd have told me we'd get 7 points out of Bournemouth away, Tottenham home, United away, I would have taken it.
No, that's right, Bournemouth. Yeah, that was the other one I was thinking of. But
yeah, so I mean, look, we didn't. Yeah, I think the more disappointing thing is we drew with United, we missed chances, and we didn't particularly play well. I'm not saying we were bad, but we didn't. It wasn't a great game. It wasn't a great performance in terms of quality. And I think that's probably maybe the thing that's beating people up the most is that we got a draw while not being great, and we were still arguably the better team while not being great. So had we played half well, you feel like we could have gone there and won. So you've just done one of the things that annoys me more than anything else, and everyone after every game this season feels the need to go, this time last year we would have lost that.
Yeah, I know.
Fucks me off. So literally after every game.
Yeah.
And I've just got the table up just to be annoying. And look, this team is indefinitely better than the team last year, but we were 4th at this time last year. We're now 5th.
Yeah.
So it's not, look, we are better than this time last year, but it's just so boring, and especially when they're wrong. Like against Palace when we drew, we would have lost this game last year. Well, we beat Palace last year. Against Tottenham, if we'd have lost this last year, we beat Tottenham last year. Again, we are definitely better, but it's just getting boring every time a result happens. We'd have lost that last year.
Yeah,
none of us have got a crystal ball. We don't know what happened, what's different.
No, you wouldn't know. No. But look, let's face it. At the start of this year, we were thinking, oh fuck, I never thought we were going to go on 20 games.
No, I'm not trying to discredit this team or discredit Emery. As I said, we're a million miles better than we were last year. But one, is pointless comparing everything to this stage last year. And if you are comparing it, compare it like for like. Don't just go, we would have lost this and leave it absolutely baseless. Because the only thing you can compare is versus that team last year.
Mm-hmm. Well, like last year, I would have said on this podcast, I'd be happy to go away with a draw against Manchester United. Yeah,
I completely agree.
Yeah,
but I just think it's boring coming out of every game and reading or hearing, we'd have lost that last year.
Yeah, no, I hear what you're saying. Okay, Cosman Butter, do you find second half Guendouzi to be the level of Granit? I feel it's close.
No, as I said, I thought he played very well, and it's the same argument I had earlier in the season. But in that game, not was what he does needed, because it was what he done was needed. Was it effective? Did he impact the game at either end? I don't think he did.
No, he didn't. Look, I put Guendouzi well in front of El Nani.
Oh yeah, streets apart.
You know,
I also and you probably won't agree. I think there's games where Guendouzi potentially could do a better job than Granit. But I'd say there's much more games where you'd want Granit in. It's all about styles and the way they play. And Guendouzi, as I said, for me, just doesn't... In that particular game, he didn't affect the game at either end enough.
I think, look, it's going to come with experience. He's got a big future at Arsenal. I don't want people to be putting him on the pedestal just yet. Let him earn his place. He's played how many games he started? Probably 6, 7, or
maximum.
Maybe. Yeah, you know. So he's just coming into the Premier League, and he's a young kid, and he's got plenty of potential. And I think I'd love to be saying in 2 years' time, wow, look at this kid. And I was thinking about it, even Guendouzi, Granit, and Torreira, people are going to be in a couple of years' time, people are going to be saying, how can we fit these three in the same team? But at this stage, I think Guendouzi's just got to, he's learning, he's young, so. Cosman Buddha, United should have given 1 or 2 red cards, and they have scored an offside goal. Yeah. Do you think the refereeing will get any better anytime soon?
I cannot wait for VAR. Look, a lot of what happened the other day wouldn't have been affected by VAR. The offside for the goal would have been ruled out, and maybe Rojo would have been sent off. As I said, I've not seen it back. And again, whatever this Lingard incident is may have been different. But look, the standard of refereeing, just general refereeing, has to improve, because you're not going to use VAR every time they blow the whistle, or they should have blown the whistle and they haven't. But VAR will help a lot, at least in the key moments, because the standard of refereeing in general is shite. But at least if you're getting the key moments right, there's a lot less to moan about. But they can't just rely on VAR. They also need the standard of refereeing to improve massively.
So what I understand is, and I'd imagine if it's been used similar to what it was over here and in Italy as well. So every time there's a goal, they will look at the goal to see if there's an offside. So they would have picked up the offside, but they wouldn't have picked up pulling off Guendouzi's hair because it didn't lead to a goal.
Well, it depends. So they're going to use it the same way in the World Cup as they did in the World Cup. So a potential red card is something that they will look at.
Yeah, okay. So they might have looked at that maybe.
Yeah. So it's offsides, penalties. So all goals get checked regardless if there's nothing wrong, but you wouldn't even know. They get checked during the celebration. Offsides leading to goals, potential penalties, and potential red cards.
Okay. Hopefully they fucking don't fuck it up.
As I said, I've said this before, I was always against it. You
liked it in the World Cup, though.
That's what I was. So until the World Cup, I was against it being brought to the Premier League, and I think when the teams did vote for it to not be in the Premier League this year, I pretty much agreed with them. After seeing it in the World Cup, because they've done it differently, I'm for the change they made. The way it was going in Italy was a disgrace, and in Germany was even worse. The way it was going in Germany, which has got most headlines, was terrible, and that was when I was against it. They adapted the way they used it during the World Cup, and that VAR for me has to be, and obviously the teams have agreed to it now, but the way it worked there showed that it has to be used everywhere, but it has to be used in that format for it to work for me.
So the format you're talking about is that referee is the bloke who's got to look at the screen, not the couple of idiots upstairs.
Yeah. So they'll advise him. So if he's missed an incident or whatnot, they'll advise him, or they'll say, "Oh, you've got to go and have a look. What would you give on this?" So it promotes consistency in an ideal.
Yeah, and you're getting the same. Yeah, you're getting the same refereeing standards on the whole game, then.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's not going to be foolproof, because I don't think France should have had a penalty in the World Cup final when VAR gave it, or the ref gave it via VAR. So there's still going to be incidents where they're wrong, but on a large number, if they get 90% right more than they do now, then it's worth it. Look, to be honest, even if they only get 10% more right than they do now, that's still 10% for the better. So, I mean, you take that up to the 85, 90%, which you're probably expecting, and it improves things massively. As I said, it's not going to fix refereeing overnight, because them little fouls in the centre circle, or Fernandinho getting away with 300 fouls before he gets booked every week, VAR ain't going to do anything about that. So the standard of refereeing still needs to improve. But at least if the majority of the big decisions are right, you can feel a bit more comfortable.
Yeah. Cosman Buddha also says, would Ozil have had a good time in the vast spaces United allowed us when they were defending?
Again, this is one of them hypothetical questions that's really difficult to answer, because there is an argument there was loads of space and that's when Ozil comes to shine, but there is an argument that, especially in the first half, Aubameyang was isolated, so they had 3 centre-backs around Aubameyang, so that space probably wouldn't have been used so well. There is also an argument that with the way United started hard, pressing everyone and kicking anyone that they could get near, Ozil might have got kicked a few times and gone into his shell. Like, you just don't know. He might have got kicked a few times and thought, I'm going to show these fuckers, and been world class. Do you know what I mean? You just can't answer these questions. On paper, yeah, that a load of space would have suited him, but it's not only just does Ozil have space. I mean, I felt really sorry for Aubameyang in the first half, because he was running loads of channels, getting the ball, but then there was no one in the middle. So he then had to just come back down the line, and he's made a really good run, but the net result of it is the ball goes back to where it started. And Ozil wouldn't have improved that because he doesn't get in the box.
But then if Ozil started, then I'd imagine Mourinho's tactics would have changed, and it'd be all different scenarios, really.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. So how can you answer this question?
It's hard. It's a hard one. Feeling Hakon Larsson, so he's gone a little bit of a rant here. Feeling a bit conflicted about this one. We didn't play that well, but had the biggest chances to win. Feel like 2 points dropped because we fucked up after our second goal. Aubameyang and Mickey should have buried the game. That was that chance that Mickey had, didn't it? Sky straight over the bloody...
Yeah, the front post.
He had a really good chance, yeah.
Yeah, it was just after Aubameyang's. It was in the same move. Aubameyang missed. The hair saved it. It came back out and we recycled it.
That's right.
And then Mickey missed. And they both should have scored.
Yeah. Hakon goes on, says, this was the worst I've ever seen United. A big club with many followers, respect, fucking hell. That team was embarrassing, diving, moaning, ugly tackles and all. Even many of my friends that support United thought it was bad. New low for them, in his opinion.
Well, somewhat controversially, I don't think United played bad. You can argue about their tactics not being United-like and trying to rush us and trying to kick us and basing their game more on stopping us than playing themselves, which is what you expect from United. So you can argue tactically that it's the worst United you've seen in terms of the way they set up and whatnot and their tactics. But I think actual way they played, I've seen a hell of a lot of worse United teams. Hello?
Sorry, yeah, I was muted, sorry. Kakon goes on, fuck United, fuck Mourinho. Whoever thought this was going to be easy can eat a stick. Those games are living their own lives no matter what. I expect a tough game, and it was 4 points out of 6 against shit, and shit is a decent after all. Must win the next day. Huddersfield. Yeah. I agree with you. I agree. It's been a good couple of weeks, actually. Vish, how are we? Vish, he says, what can we attribute our slow starts to the game to? Was it just the full-blooded intensity and pressure from United, or was it our formation? You said it was pretty much the intensity from United.
Yeah, usually a back three helps you starve off that. So I wouldn't blame the formation, because they're not usually going to commit 3 men forward, and if they do, it leaves a wing back. So usually a back three helps starve off that pressure because you've got the extra man to try and keep the ball. But no, as I said, I don't want to give United too much credit from the game, but I think that was one of the things they made us start slow.
Mm-hmm. Vish says the Spurs and United match was definitely taking a toll on the players. Who would you field against Huddersfield? Do we freshen up the team with the likes of El Nani? Oh, fuck. Give yourself an uppercut, Vish. Smith Rowe, Eddie, or stick with the same team. Also, Kos and Mafropanos feature.
No, I'm not going to run through the team because we don't know what formation he's going to play, which changes things massively. Yeah. I wouldn't be amazed if Torreira was on the bench and we saw Guendouzi and Xhaka together, because Torreira runs his nuts off every week and looks knackered by 70th minute every week. But then also we've not got a midweek game after this. We've got Qarabağ at home, which is obviously we've already won the group and we'll play a complete reserve team. So he could. It wouldn't surprise me if he goes full strength here, whatever we've got left in the tank, knowing that they've essentially got a week off, which in December having a week off is almost unheard of.
Mm-hmm.
Because we don't play till the Sunday either. So we play Saturday 3:00 and then Sunday midday, I think it is. So we've got 8 days between the first team games. Obviously said Qarabağ's in between, but that will be the youth team again, or the reserves and whatnot.
Yeah, so they've got a bit of time to rest.
Yeah, so it wouldn't surprise me if he goes all out. I think we may see both Aubameyang and Lacazette start. Obviously, we don't know the situation with Ozil, but I think he'll go pretty much full strength. And as I said, the only one I wouldn't be amazed if he doesn't play is Torreira, because there's an argument that do you need a holding midfielder against Huddersfield at home? And also he has not been running on empty, but just it comes to 75 every match and you think this geezer's going to have a heart attack.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, look, I see where Vicious is coming from, but yeah, I do agree with you. Look, so they'll get an 8-day rest. Geez, and then we've got the bloody, and I don't want to jump the gun, but then we've got bloody Southampton, Tottenham in the EFL Cup, and Burnley. They're all in that same week. So yeah, I'd imagine he'd be looking, towards the next couple of weeks. But 8 days, that should be all right. But I wouldn't mind Guendouzi, Granit starting. I know we didn't want Granit missing that game, but he'll be better for the bit of a rest that he got. I'd imagine Torreira will still be on the bench, I'd imagine, if he does go that way.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think he probably will start, but that's probably one of the ones, if we are going to rest people, I think he would be the first in line, but he probably still would be on the bench.
Mm-hmm. Those 2 matches confirm that, Hakon says that, those 2 matches that confirm that we are better than both of them, no doubt. What's he talking about? And fuck Mariner. Fuck Fellaini, fuck Rashford. He's on a bit of a fucking. He must have been pissed, old fucking Hakon. Love it, buddy. Keep it up. I think that's about it, mate. I'm just going to have a quick look here. I think that's about all our questions we got, because I did retweet it. So, yep, that's about it. So,
fair enough.
Yeah, thank you everybody for your questions. I'm sure there's a couple more, but what do you reckon, Huddersfield?
2-1.
2-1.
I'm saying that every week.
I couldn't remember whether you said that last week or not. Okay, 2-1. How have they been travelling, Huddersfield?
Not great, but then they were 1-0 up against someone the other day and then got a man, Brighton, and then got a man sent off and lost 2-1. And then midweek they lost 2-1 away to Bournemouth.
Yeah, okay. I'm going to go 3-1 Arsenal. So, right, mate, that's about it. We'll be back on Sunday and hopefully Schwinn will be back with us.
Let's hope so.
Yeah, thank you everybody for listening. Thank you for downloading, and you've been listening to the Clock and Talk. You can follow us at @clockand_talk on Twitter. We're also on Facebook, and you can find this podcast on all your good podcast apps and YouTube. Thank you, and see you later. Bye.
Adios.